So we'll turn it over to Sophie to talk about high availability for Gitaly.
Awesome. I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully everyone can see.
Yes.
Let me pull up the chat too, just so I have that. All right, awesome. So this is a very highly anticipated feature for a lot of self-managed customers. It is high availability for Gitaly, and we have our alpha release in the 12.9 release. So I'm going to talk about a little bit of background on what Gitaly is for those of you who need a refresher or maybe just don't know. And then I'll talk about what's actually released in this alpha version and then what's to come in the future. So what is Gitaly? So I'm getting a lot of background noise. Kelly, can you go on mute? Thank you. Awesome. So what is Gitaly? Gitaly is a service that was designed by GitLab, and it handles all Git level access within GitLab. The original reason for designing it was to remove our need for NFS, which I'll talk about in the next slide. But I just wanted to give a high level overview of what Gitaly is. I also linked the Gitaly project at the bottom there. So if you're interested in looking at the code, and there's a lot of really good documentation within that project as well, I would go check that out. So that's what Gitaly is. Why does Gitaly HA matter to us? So Gitaly currently is a single point of failure in our systems. Right now, users have two options on how they want to store Git data. The first option they can use is using local storage. So local storage is very fast, but it is a single point of failure. So the second option that customers have, if they want it to be highly available, is NFS. And if you don't know already, NFS is a legacy system, and it adds quite a bit of latency, which severely impacts performance of large GitLab systems, which is not good. If you've never been on the front lines of performance issues with prospects or customers, consider yourself lucky, because a lot of times NFS is the bottleneck in those performance issues. And that's what Gitaly HA is trying to eliminate. So Gitaly HA is going to eliminate the need for NFS altogether, and it's going to rely solely on Gitaly for that data replication. So what actually shipped in this release? I want to preface by saying that this is an alpha release and it is solely an experimental release. This is not a supported feature right now. So please encourage your customers to test this out in a non-production environment, but do not let them put this into production right now. So what does the alpha version include? It includes something called prefect, and prefect is acting as a sort of reverse proxy to manage multiple Gitaly nodes. So as you can see in the diagram, prefect sits on top of the Gitaly nodes. And what it does, it will replicate all of the writes from the primary Gitaly node to all of the secondary nodes. And then it will also handle any automatic failover. So if the primary Gitaly node goes down, it will automatically fail over to one of the secondary nodes. So that's what shipped prefect. I linked the documentation on how to get prefect set up, and I also linked the epic for the alpha release. I would encourage you to go look in there on how to set it up. Will Chandler from our support team did a video demo. It's about 30 minutes long of him setting up prefect in a test environment. So I would go and take a look at that if you're interested in deep diving. I couldn't do a 30-minute demo today, so I'll link that there. And then the last thing is what's to come. So obviously this is an alpha release and it's not production ready. There's a ton of work still to be done to get Gitaly HA into a production ready environment. So what I would encourage you to do is follow this Gitaly HA epic. That's kind of the source of truth for everything, all the work that's being done to get this to a production state. As you can see in the screenshot, there's a ton of sub-epics and issues linked within that main Gitaly HA epic. And then the other link that I have is the category direction page for Gitaly. I would encourage you to go take a look at that as well. It gives a lot of good history on why Gitaly was created, what the importance is to our customers, and then where we're heading in the future. So these are both links you can also share with your prospects and your customers, and they can go in and ask questions within the epic and things like that. So that is all I had on Gitaly HA. I'm super excited about it. Are there any questions?